Good evening, everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, the one and only, the often imitated, never duplicated backyard superstar Tim Vicious. And Raw last night, it was a pretty good one. It was actually, in my opinion, probably one of the better go-home pay-per-views leading into, or one of the best go-home Raws leading into a pay-per-view in a while. Yeah, and believe it or not, wait for the big shocker. It didn't start out with Randy Orton cutting a promo or having Hunter and Steph having the authority, so to say, come out and cut a promo. Oh no. It was Cuck Fina. He came out, he was talking about on how the Elimination Chambers this Sunday, it's a grueling structure, this, that, and the other, saying that you want to go and be the new dog in the backyard, first you gotta go through me, that kind of happy honky-dory horse shit. Then Cesaro came out. Zeb wound up going on there saying on how he wound up beating Randy. He's going to beat everyone on Sunday at the pay-per-view. And then out comes Randy. And he starts talking about on how he's going to win. And then out comes Sheamus, who says he's going to win. And then out comes Christian, who says he's going to win. And then out comes Daniel Bryan, who says he's going to win. And then out comes Kane, who says he's going to win. Wait, no. Sorry. Brain fart. Had too many people coming out doing the same thing. So, that's where the problem was. Kane came out, wound up saying, you're all going to be in matches against each other tonight. Bryan, you're going up against Christian. Randy, Sheamus, you two are already set for later tonight. Cena, you're going to face Cesaro. And next thing you know, the match starts, and immediately after Kane's done that promo, Christian, he comes up right behind on Bryan, takes him, and then they wind up starting the match. Big thing I noticed straight off bat, I thought, and I'm pretty sure everyone else did also, was right when Christian wound up doing that, he started attacking, and he was going in that hard-hitting, like, heel style that he does. Whether that means Christian's doing a heel turn or not, really don't know for sure. Could have just been he was looking to try and build up some momentum before going in, being the only guy that lost. And, if they book Christian right, if they have him in a match on, like, main event, and also on SmackDown, then they can use that to help build up for him, saying that, he's looking to try and get an edge, gain momentum to go in it. That's on if they do that right. But either way, back to the matter at hand. Christian wound up going in. He was really focusing on the arm. I really liked it. Me personally, I like when you go and you see guys go and focus on spots like that. Like he kept working on the one shoulder over and over and over, doing different moves, not just an arm lock or a hammer lock hammer lock. Don't mind me, 1 cup of coffee. Deal with it. If you don't, there you go. Anyways, he was doing arm locks, wrenches, anything and everything, textbook stuff that you would do to focus and work on an arm. The one I always cringe on, and that's just because, it's kind of got some shoulder issues myself from back in the day. When you get that scoop slam right on your arm, with the arm tucked back like that, that's killer. But the match, it was really solid. Hands down, Christian, definitely one of the best wrestlers that they got in there. Just wish they utilized him more and gave him more of a serious push and more serious stories. Bryan, well, we already know on how he is. In which case, I already said it before, I'll say it again. The most over guy WWE has right now, compared right up there with Stone Cold. He's as over with the fans as Stone Cold was. You know? And I don't know, this is just me thinking. If Bryan does not win the Chamber on Sunday, I'm not going to necessarily be mad, just because, and hear me out first, before you guys all start going into a nerd rage and doing all caps rage down below. Now, think about it. Stone Cold won the King of the Ring back in '96, and everyone wanted him to go and get the title right then and there, you know, start going at it right away. They didn't, though. They built him up, and they just had him, keep going and going and going, you know, and that wound up working with him. You know, they see, WWE's not going to be stupid. They see that Bryan's making the money, you know. So they're going to want to try and utilize that to their full advantage. So they could wind up melding him to get there and just get this close to the top of the mountain, and then just go down. And just keep on going, and just keep going at it like that, you know, like like the underdog story, you know. I'm getting there. I didn't make it. Oh no. Well, I'm gonna have to try again now. Oh no. And then finally give him that win. You know, that could work. I think that would really work. If they do it like that, you know, that could work. But now back to the match with Bryan and Christian. It was really good. I liked on how Bryan wound up selling that the shoulder was hurting because he couldn't put in the label lock. You know, he had Christian's arm wrenched back. He had the one arm up. He went to go and reach for the other, but it was like, you know, which was really good. Liked seeing Bryan sell that. And anyways, Bryan wound up winning. He went and he got a roll up on Christian. Next thing you know, got outside the ring. Kane, who was sitting ringside the whole time, wound up saying, "Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention, you have another match against me now." And then Kane took the jacket off, took the tie off, and considering it's Daniel Bryan, good call on taking the tie off, Kane. You know, and it wasn't even really more of a match. It was just as a proven point, because we all know this is going to be a stepping stone into a match with Kane and Bryan, and then probably having Bryan take CM Punk's spot in the story that they were going to have him do. And that right there in and of itself gets me mad to no utter fucking end, because, you know, again, the storylines should be character driven, not just, okay, here's a story. We're gonna have this guy here and this guy in here. All right, now this guy's not working now. Okay, fine. We'll put this guy in instead. No, you shouldn't do that. Make the stories unique to the characters. That's on how I am. I don't know. I'm old school like that. I think different like that. That's on how I think storylines should go for as far as in the sport. You know, anyways though, Bryan wound up technically winning by disqualification. Kane had his arm wrenched around the post, and he was pulling on it. Ref counted to 5. Thing that wound up confusing me, any other time that the ref gets to 5 in any matches when they're like that, they always go and try and get the wrestler to break the move before they call for the bell. In this one, it was 1, 2, come on, Kane, let go. 3, 4, I don't want to disqualify you. 5, ring the bell. You know? I mean, I just don't see on how that works, you know? I mean, you should have the refs stick with kayfabe and do like normal and, you know, say, you know, at 5, try and break the hold, and if they don't, then call for the bell. That's me, though. Anyways, next matchup, it was Fandango versus Santino, and I'm willing to eat the crow and a bit of humble pie right here, because right when Santino came out, I I wound up putting it out there on Twitter. Don't have Emma come out with him unless you're gonna have her utilize her with a thing with Summer Rae. And well, they did. That was actually the outside action was actually the best part of that match, hands down. You know, when Santino and Fandango, they were doing their thing. And then Summer Rae, she went to go and try and interfere. Emma picked her up. Emma picked her up, fireman's carry, started spinning her around, and then dropped her. Santino came out and had this weird ass look, you know, like he was like his face just got put through a wood chipper, trying to steal a kiss from her. And just as Emma was about to go and lean in, boom! Fandango wound up kicking him. Which case, they had to rehearse the shit out of that, because I'd have been scared out my gourd if I was Emma, because I wouldn't have wanted to kiss that boot. Yeah, anyways, Fandango won that match. You know, I could really care less about Santino and Fandango feuding. I'm looking to see Emma and Summer Rae get some serious action in the ring. You know, I really want to see that. You know, need to have more serious, legitimate women's wrestling on TV. You know. Anyways, next matchup, Roman Reigns versus Mizark Henry. And this was a pretty good match. And I know everyone always makes jokes about Henry, you know. Oh, he's back, he's going to only be here for a little while, he'll get injured, he'll leave again. You know, this, that, and the other. That aside, you take the time to think about it, Henry is hands down probably one of the most loyal employees they got, because he's been wrestling with WWE since like 96, 97, you know, and has done nothing but stay with the company. You know, he's taken pay cuts, he's taken send downs to developmental and all of that, and yet he still stayed, even though he could have gone and tucked tail and ran and go and work for anyone else just like any other guy would have. But he stayed. So for that, I give Henry credit, and I give him mad respect on that for wanting to stay with the company that he believes in. You know, I'm not saying I agree or disagree with him, I'm saying I give him respect on that part. Anyways, the match itself, that was really good. You know, Henry, he's doing a lot what I think a lot more of the, you know, guys that have been in the business for a while really should start doing when they get around to when they start getting to like the late 30s, early 40s in their career, you know, start working to bring up and build the new breed, because, you know, you got too many of the old heads wanting and still holding on to their main event spots, clinching their titles like, no, it's mine. Whereas you had guys like Terry Funk looking at people like, oh, you see him? I can make him a champion. Oh, I'll make him a champion. Oh, I can make him something. Hell, Chris Jericho did that when he did his return. When he did his return after Royal Rumble last year, the feud with Fandango, that put Fandango on the radar. He went to go and do that with Ryback. Ryback wound up going on the radar before he went batshit crazy. You know, you gotta help build up the new breed. Because I guarantee, if I was still backyarding, while I would still be doing matches, I wouldn't hesitate to be like, hey, look, hey, I see something in this guy. I'm gonna want to try and make him. I want to try and help build him up. I want to see if I can help make him something. Help make him be like next Tim Vicious. That's what I would do. You know, you got to build up, because if you don't prep for the future, you're going to wind up having nothing but shit. And I mean god awful shit. I mean, case in point, look at WCW. They worked on a day-to-day idea on how wrestling should go for their planning. Vince wound up thinking long term. That's on how Vince won the Monday Night War. You know, now that I've gone completely off topic and I'm going back to the match, it was a really impressive match. You know, Reigns, now he's even gotten down like his own nice little taunt for the Superman punch. He just goes down, pulls the hair back, you know, and then next, you know, wham, wails it. Did beautiful spear. And, you know, I bring this up to my dad and my brother. They asked me because they know me as the wrestle guy in the family, you know, because they've watched some. What's the difference between when he does a spear compared to anyone else? Aside from the fact that he does it right, he goes and he hits you like a football player, whereas everyone else will go and hit you like a wrestler. You know, wrestlers, they'll go and try and hit here in the gut. Reigns goes up here right in the ribs to go and take you down, just bam, like that. And that is on why his are just like, oh my god, like. Anyways, Reigns got the win, 1, 2, 3. That was all good. Next thing you know, right after that, Ambrose starts beating the hell out of Mark Henry to try and prove a point, saying that he beat Henry and he was about to win last week's match. And just as the Shield got in the ring, boom, cue the Wyatts. And Bray Wyatt, I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart, doing the promo. And like I said, the way Bray Wyatt does his promos, they are slow, methodical, and flat out beautiful. Because, and I say this every time he cuts one. You know, you get anyone to go and do a promo, you got someone going out there talking and screaming and yelling on how this Sunday they're gonna kick your ass all over this place and that place and all over. You can get up, grab a soda, come back, they're still gonna be doing the same thing. Whereas with Bray and the Wyatts themselves, they sit there softly, meticulously, talking. And they keep their eyes open the whole time, looking right at you. Not even looking right at you, but right through you. And then next thing you know, wham, they got you. That's on how they get you. And then right as they're done, Roman, he grabs the mic, says, I got an idea. Why don't you come on down here, we'll put those words at test. And then Bray just says, funny, I was just thinking the same thing. And then the Wyatts come down, and then you got the standoff in the ring, and my jaw was on the floor the whole time, because all I thought was, are they going to do it now? Are they going to do it now? For the love of God, tell me they're going to do it now, because, you know, the Shield versus Wyatt's tag match is going to be the, I'm predicting it now, that's going to be the match of the night for Elimination Chamber. If it's not, then those guys, then none of them delivered on their A game, because you got the two strongest forces in the company right now getting ready to square off. The only other comparison I could think on that is if you had Godzilla versus Mothra. Whoa. Anyways, next matchup, it was Kofi versus Swagger. I really wasn't all that interested in this match, to be honest. I kind of just sat back and I was just watching it, you know. I was just watching it, breaking it down, analyzing. I didn't even put nothing out there on Twitter or nothing like, yeah, that was alright. That was good, yeah. You know, anyway, Swagger won with the ankle lock, and I don't know. I grew up watching Ken Shamrock and Kurt Angle do the ankle lock, and I just get mad seeing Swagger go and do it, because Swagger, he just goes and bends the ankle. You know, or not even bends, he goes and twists it. You know, whereas when you go do an ankle lock, you're supposed to twist and pull down like that, so that way you got the move locked in, so if they try to move, so that way you can get it locked in, and then you get it. That way you can, that way then they really feel the pain, because you just, I mean, really? Swagger doesn't even look like he's putting any weight down when he goes and does it. Anyways, Swagger won the match. Immediately after that, Biggie Langston came out, walked right on down. He was booked for a match, they wound up saying. Excuse me. He was booked for a match, and he had Jinder and Drew McIntyre in the match. First thing I noticed right off bat was Drew was in his trunks and not his 3MB gear. So unless they're looking to, I'm hoping that's a tell that they're going to wind up slowly breaking him away from 3MB and have him start going back to being the chosen one, because that would work phenomenal for him. Even if you're going to have him be a mid-card for life, actually utilize him and use him in a proper way. You know, don't just have him jobbing all the time. Best part of that match, though, was definitely having Zeb Coulter on the mic, talking and dissing on Big E and the crowd itself the whole time. You know, cause I was expecting one of the heels to go and start ripping on Denver. You know, on how the Seattle wound up pretty much taking them to the woodshed, and I knew Zeb Coulter would, but I just wish it didn't take an hour and a half into the show to finally get it. Anyways, Big E, boom, hit the big ending, got the 1, 2, 3, he won. Next matchup, it was, my opinion, match of the night. Cesaro versus Cena. You know, obviously we all know who won, because a certain individual named Cuck Fina, who will remain nameless, refuses to ever let anyone get a clean win on them, wound up winning. We all knew that was going to happen, but either way, just the match itself, it was beautiful, because Cesaro, he just showed that he was, boom, hitting hard, hitting fast, hitting aggressive. You know, it was almost like if you were seeing like a modern day Bruno Sammartino in the ring. You know, that's what impressed me with it. Not gonna lie, I got pissed off twice during the match, because both times Cesaro had him ready to do the swing and Cena reversed it. Got him for the third time. Spun that sumbitch around pretty good. I counted 15. I don't know about anyone else. If you guys counted higher, by all means, tell me down below or look for me on Twitter, either one. Either way, it was a good match. You know, like I said, match of the night, definitely. Yeah, Cena got the 1, 2, 3. And next matchup now, it was Seen Hunico and Primo and Epico versus the Wyatts. Before I go into that match, I'm just saying straight out now, the big gripe that I had with this match was you got Primo and Epico, who are the Los Matadors. You take Primo and Epico off screen, make them drop their Puerto Rican pride gimmick, and revamp them as Mexican bullfighters, just to have them keep doing the same thing that they're doing now and job to everyone. Really? The only difference is you make them wear a really bad mask and you gave them a midget in a bull suit. Yeah. Anyways, obvious here. Wyatt family won. Bray, he had Sin Cara. Hit him with his sister Abigail. Didn't do like one of those fast-hitting ones like we seen him do with Daniel Bryan at the Royal Rumble or last week on Ray Ray. Just straight out picked him up, grabbed him. gave him a kiss, and then wham! Hit it. That was it. Next matchup, Jey Uso versus Billy Gunn. And they had Road Dogg on this side of commentary, and the other Uso on this side of commentary. And dude, really? I mean, come on. Not really caring. Now you're just finally announcing that you're going to that the Outlaws are going to wind up doing a tag match against the Usos at the pay-per-view. Please let that be the opening match. Just so that way, and I'm hoping that's the opening match, just so that way we can get it out of the system and get it over with. You know, honestly, like I said, the Usos, I really don't care about. The Outlaws, I don't think they should be on screen anymore. I don't think they should be on screen wrestling. You know, that's me though. Yeah, it's either way. Jey, the Uso that was in the ring, I think it was Jey. He wound up winning the match. Yeah, and next matchup of the night, main event, Randy Orton versus Sheamus. Fairly decent match, what you would expect for a Raw main event. Wasn't pay-per-view quality main event, it was a Raw main event. It was pretty good, nice, solid. You know, just really wish Randy wouldn't talk so much, you know, or even yet, if he did, take a page from, like, the refs, Mike Chioda, and just learn on how to do, like, a puppet mouth like this, and talk. Or just talk without your mouth moving, period, like this. I mean, not having a puppet mouth. That's what I meant. Just keeping your mouth still, but still talking. Just so that way you can get through the match. You know, that way, you know, that way we don't bother to hear so much. Anyways, Sheamus wound up getting the win by DQ. Shield came out, started beating him up, and then out comes Cena, and then Christian, and then Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro, and then the Wyatts, and then all hell broke loose. And it wound up going into, Raw ended with a hot ending. It hasn't ended like that. My memory since the Raw before the Royal Rumble last year. Now, I did some digging and I looked around before I did this, saying on what happened after Raw. You know, everyone cleared out except the Shield. You know, Cesaro spun Ambrose around like 30 times and then left. And then what was it? Sheamus hit him with a bro kick, then left. Cena hit him with an AA, and then Bryan hit him with the running knee, and then that was it for the night. All in all, like I said, probably the best Raw that I've seen leading into a pay-per-view in a while. So, hope an Elimination Chamber is going to be good, judging by on how that went. Anyways, that's all the time for this week's episode. So, like I always tell, actually, before I forget, wound up getting a message yesterday from somebody. Got a question, actually, for the first time in forever. You know, it was a good buddy of mine on Twitter, Grounded Geek 2. Look for him on Twitter. His big question to me was, do I think Batista's going to wind up pushing the Guardians of the Galaxy movie? Him, personally, I don't think he's gonna. But I know for a fact that WWE is gonna. You know, they're gonna put more screen time on Dave the closer that the movie gets to, and they're gonna start talking about it. If they have him actually talking about it, then I will be legitimately surprised on that. Alright, anyways, like always, now that's all the time we got for this week's show. So like I always tell y'all, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Look for me on Twitter at TimVicious. Make sure y'all also check out my backup account, Tim_Vicious. I get put in Twitter jail every now and again. It's actually been a couple months. This is a new record for me. Make sure all y'all check out all these cool ass